So now the posterior part of the norma basalis. So the posterior part is behind the line which is drawn at the anterior margin of foramen magnum. It is also divided into the median area and the lateral area. So the structures which are within the medial area are the larger foramen over here, which is called as the foramen magnum, then the external occipital crest, external occipital protuberance, and the knuckle line. So the foramen magnum is the largest foramen of the skull. It is narrowed down anteriorly by the presence of two occipital condyle. So it is narrow anteriorly and wide posteriorly. From the foramen magnum up to the prominent tubercle over here on the occipital bone, which is called as the external occipital protuberance, a line is drawn which is an elevated, that is called as external occipital crest. From the external occipital protuberance, a curved line goes laterally, that is called as the superior knuckle line, and from the middle of this external occipital crest, another curve reaches past laterally, that is called as the inferior knuckle line. Now the lateral area of the posterior part of the norma basalis is contributed by the occipital condyle, the jugular foramen, the styloid process, mastoid process, and the squamous part of the temporal bone. So the occipital condyle, they are oval in shape. Their direction is directed forward and medially, and they articulate with the atlas vertebra to form the atlanto-occipital joint. Just in front of the occipital condyle, we can see a canal that is called as the hypoglossal canal or the anterior condylar canal. And sometimes behind the occipital condyle also there may be a presence of the canal that is called as posterior condylar canal. So this one is the hypoglossal canal which goes inside to the posterior cranial fossa. Now next to that, there is a jugular irregular shape, a wide jugular foramen, which is formed by the petrous part of temporal bone as well as the occipital bone margins. In its lateral wall, there is a large depression is seen, which is called as the jugular fossa, and within this fossa, we can see a small canaliculi. This is the jugular fossa, which lodges the jugular bulb of the internal jugular vein, and inside this jugular fossa lies a small canaliculi that is called as the mastoid canaliculi. This is the carotid canal. This is the jugular foramen. In between that, sometimes there is a presence of a thin canaliculi that is called as the tympanic canaliculi. The upper border of the jugular foramen is notched medially, where it lodges the, this is called as jugular notch, and it lodges the glossopharyngeal. It is also called glossopharyngeal notch and lodges the glossopharyngeal ganglia. The lateral to jugular foramen lies the elongated process which is known as the styloid process, and it is anteriorly ensheathed by the tympanic plate. Posterior to it, there is a foramen in between the styloid process and mastoid process that is called as stylomastoid foramen. Next to that, this is the mastoid process, and here is the presence of the mastoid notch. The squamous part of the temporal bone have the inferior knuckle line from the middle of the external occipital crest, and at the level of external occipital protuberance the superior knuckle line. Sometimes there may be presence of highest knuckle line above that. External occipital protuberance marks the junction of the scalp and the neck.